Since I was a little boy, I have attended church regularly with my mother, and then after marriage, my wife and I have attended church always. And I've always felt that there's an obligation in attending a church to somehow support that organization. This building that we enjoy, the facilities that we have, they don't pay for themselves. Someone has got to put financial resources and make them available to the church so that these things can be supported. But the other big piece of it for me is outreach. The thing that for me makes this different is that we have a purpose, and that is to help other people and to bring them to Christ. So it always comes down to a question of how are we going to spend our money? We're going to support the facility and the staffing for it, and what's left we're going to give to outreach and to other people. It's really important in my mind for people to step up and give this year to increase the total budget so that the amount that we increase will be used for outreach mission sort of work. It's just natural that I give to support the facilities, but also to support the activities, the mission of this church, which is, again, to bring people to Christ.
Absolutely. You're wondering what all this giving is about. Think of it as your family budget. Your family budget is a discrete amount of money that you use to allocate to different things in your life. So everybody likes pie charts, but I don't. So we're going to talk about the financial budget of the church with an actual pie. So let's get baking. So I'm here with Amy, and she has some questions about how the church spends their money.
Okay, so tell me, who decides where the money goes?
Well, every year in the fall, the finance ministry chair, which is me this year, sends out a budget to each of the ministry chairs, asking them how much money they think they'll need for their committee this year. We compile that and then work with the annual giving chair to see how much money we received in pledges. At that point, we try to divide the pie up just to see how much money each of the departments can get. And then that budget goes to the church for approval in November or December of each year for the next fiscal year.
Okay, so I see we have this beautiful pie here. Can you tell me why this piece is smaller than this piece?
This kind of pie is what we use to run the operations of the church. 100% of this pie goes to fulfill our church's vision to connect people to God and each other. About 50% of the pie goes to support our ministers and staff, including things like salaries, health insurance, and benefits. This is pretty typical for a church of Crestwood's size. Another 15% goes to taking care of our buildings and grounds, paying utilities, and doing maintenance so that we can open up our church to all the groups that use it throughout the week. An additional 15% helps us communicate with the congregation and the community, support our ministry teams, and cover other administrative costs. That leaves about 20% to fund our outreach and our programs and ministries here at Crestwood. The only way to make that percentage bigger is to increase the size of the pie.
But you may ask, well, how do I get that from this fixed cost? And the answer is we can't. We can't take money from our fixed costs to service our programs and our outreach. The only answer is to expand the pie, to make the pie bigger. Our fixed cost will stay the same, and those extra dollars will go straight into our ministry programs and our outreach program.
Now, I guess the only other thing I would say one more time is that it really, the process of getting financial information from individuals is really important to the determination of a budget. And that's sort of the key ingredient and why we go through this process of trying to get people to commit to a certain dollar figure, whatever that is, so that we can make plans and we know how much we can spend.